Hey guys, what's up? We got a show we're doing. Tonight we're going to be reenacting Civil War, or at least talking about it in depth. Hopefully you've all seen it, because it's going to be spoiler heavy. Thank you for staying with us after that.
They loved it.
They probably really did.
They were like, "Oh, I wish I was playing with action figures."
This is Pack Mentality's Pack Ops review of Civil War. I'm Stubbins.
OG Duck.
Nerd man.
And one last warning, if you haven't seen the movie yet, probably should turn this off.
We're reenacting the whole thing right here.
With action figures.
Oh, that was Bucky. No, I'm sorry, man.
Damn, that's his buddy. That's his bro.
It's like the exact opposite of the fucking movie.
Yeah, these guys are pals too. Hold on, they're not be fighting.
They're hugging. Hug it out, bro.
Palling around.
Those
two
guys
are
are pals.
Exactly. They're buddies.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
High five.
Paid to be his friend, technically, when you think about it. Spider-Man was paid to be their friend.
Yeah.
I guess we could start with Spider-Man.
He was in it.
What did everybody think of Spider-Man finally being under the Marvel thumb?
Yeah. It's so weird. Like, I get that it's finally owned by Marvel now, but geez, how many reboots of Spider-Man?
It's
As many as it.
not owned by Marvel though.
Oh,
It's owned by Sony. The market rights are still owned by Sony.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But it's being.
But Marvel is doing the
Directed
movie.
by-
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I am totally fine with. I mean, they could reboot it. They could have rebooted it 2 more times as long as we got the Spider-Man we got in this movie to finally make
well,
it.
I'm glad we don't need a reboot though. Fuck that.
No. But like, Spider-Man was fantastic.
Yeah.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, he nailed it out of the park.
He was my favorite part of the movie.
Best looking Aunt May ever.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei.
I was weirded out by that casting because it's
a little weird,
but I don't know. I mean, he's always really old in the comics and stuff, so I was always just used to it. So I guess if they're playing,
They played it out though too. She's we come in all shapes and sizes.
yeah, exactly. So
They played that out.
and
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that. I guess because Peter's 15, 16, as opposed to the normal graduate in college, high school
Right.
getting into college and
Right.
stuff for his beginning. So, and I think it was cool to get a younger character in the series, considering almost every hero we have is a middle-aged person.
Mm-hmm.
And, all the women in it are like
30s,
30s,
yeah.
40s. They're all, and I think that was you get that.
Yeah, you got Hawkeye who's retired.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought
it
was cool.
kind of showed just how how much Iron Man didn't care, or Tony Stark didn't care about anybody. He wanted so badly to get his way that he recruited a fucking teenager. He's like, yo, come do this, and just don't trust me. The other guy's wrong, and just the fact that he put him, he put him in danger.
Both sides did the same thing. Both sides
They called
so staunchly
family
in
man
their
out of
way.
retirement who had kids and was almost died on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
Finally was back to his
but
family.
he also knows what he's getting himself into. He's
True.
an adult who can make the decision to
But
sign
they were
up for it.
also that fight was not that fight. Anyways, the big fight you see in all the commercials and stuff was not very weighty.
No, a lot of them were throwing
They were throwing
holding their
punches.
weight.
I mean,
yeah.
even Scarlet Witch called.
Yeah, she called him out. Called Clint
so
out.
I never felt like he was in a lot of danger. But I get what you're. I didn't think of it that way.
So that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Because he got beat up a little bit.
No, he got his.
And obviously, he could
He held
handle it,
held
but
his own.
I love Black Widow, but she doesn't have superpowers, does she? She's just a really good.
She's a badass. Same with
She's
Hawkeye.
a badass, yeah. But I mean, she got tossed around she had, she got slammed into shit that probably cracked her spine in half, and
Yeah, both of them got.
yeah.
they take it a little
I
bit.
do say because I've seen all the Marvel movies. I got that out eventually. I've seen all the Marvel movies except for Ant-Man. Except
Same here.
watching that movie, I now want to see
Really
Ant-Man.
badly, he was fantastic.
Paul Rudd really.
He did a really good job. His
And
one-liners.
I can now not wait for the Black Panther movie because I thought Black Panther was just a fucking badass.
He was
so
a great
amazing.
addition to the cast.
Yes.
I loved how they were able to introduce his character as a new superhero not go through the rigmarole of like an intro storyline and origin storyline.
Yeah.
They introduced him in a really realistic way. His origin story had nothing to do with the Avengers. He's already existed. His mantle has existed for generations.
Exactly.
Like it's there and it's going on. And
The greatest warrior's always just been Black Panther. Just carrying on that.
And I kind of like how they did Spidey too, because like he's been doing his little like under the radar stopping people in Queens, and
Right.
you know it caught Tony's attention or Shield's attention anyways, where Tony had found out about it, and he's been doing it for a while already. You
Right.
know. Maybe not 6 months, a year. You know.
I liked back to Black Panther for a second, though. I did like how for just one movie how he had character development
Oh
too.
God, yes,
He
it's
was so
fantastic.
bent on no, I'm gonna like, and he wasn't even like the normal superhero. Like, oh, I'm gonna capture that guy. He was like, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to personally kill the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Which is something you wouldn't hear any of the other heroes say.
Right.
No.
And on top of that, though, at the end when he realizes,
and
like,
then he learns.
yeah, and he doesn't kill the guy that was responsible.
Oh,
He's like,
fantastic.
no, we're gonna take
Well,
you in. Like,
Wasn't that the most badass, like, non-killing you've ever
Yeah,
seen? Like, goes to kill
oh,
himself.
yeah. But it showed a lot of growth in his character
cool.
for
Yeah.
just one movie, which
Yeah.
is really nice.
Really cool.
They did a really good job juggling all the characters,
Yeah.
I thought so.
fleshing them all out, having them, like you said, have growth, character growth, written interactions, yet still made it feel like a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this isn't a comparison video at all, but I will say I thought it was paced much better than like Batman vs Superman was.
Yeah.
I thought they just did a better job. I agree. Everybody had the right amount of screen time.
And they juggled
Oh.
7 more characters
Yeah.
and villains. You know what I mean? Like they introduced a lot. And this is like my crowning jewel of the whole movie. So I guess I'll save it. But
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're going to save yours, I will mention, though, I love the movie, don't get me wrong. Fantastic.
You're allowed to have negative points in a movie.
Absolutely.
We've
One
said
of
that
my-
in multiple
yeah,
pack
okay.
ops. And
One of my favorite Marvel movies. I'm still not sure if it's the best one yet, but it's definitely tied at least. I was a little disappointed it wasn't quite as dark as what I was hoping for.
Agreed.
And
uh,
blow it at the camera.
I know.
You fucking idiot.
Everybody's room is just filled with smoke now. He through the screen.
Hopefully they weren't trying to watch
like
you.
a-
They're like, oh, I can't see through that cloud of smoke.
they turned over to you. It's cool.
But yeah, I was hoping for a little darker.
The trailers portrayed it, and even some of the articles, they're like, "Which soldier was dark? We're going darker with this." And I was
Yeah.
expecting the story to have more weight to it,
Yeah,
a little more grit. That main fight, like we talked about, no one seemed like they were in danger very
Right.
much.
I
Seemed
know.
funny. It seemed like a-
Obviously, War Machine got injured, but I would have liked to see some injuries.
Well, the trailer
from
they
the
played
fight.
off like they killed him.
Yeah,
Like, in the
I would have
trailer,
liked to
they-
see some more injuries at the very least.
Go back to that too. So like, Falcon dodged the laser, and then
Yeah.
it hit War Machine. What would that laser have done if it hit Falcon?
Yeah,
It was still a pretty fucking powerful
Yeah, that
laser.
too. Like,
And it was kind of like Vision was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to hit him," but like you still meant to. I don't know. I just don't quite how that
Right.
worked. Like, was he going to just hit the
well,
thrusters?
he meant to just hit the thrusters. Yeah, but
But,
what if
like,
it would have hit?
it hit
Ant-Man
power
through
of-
the truck thought it was a water truck, and it was a gas
Explosive,
truck.
yeah.
Gas,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was true. So I mean, there were some goofy, crazy moments.
He
like-
was distracted, and he admitted that. So.
But was the amount of power he put before that beam on purpose, or did he shoot like a more powerful because he was like reacting? Because if he would have hit that thrusters, it tore through Tony's,
I think
War
the-
Machine suit pretty well.
I think
like,
the power was still light. He was just distracting the fact that he did miss.
yeah,
more
but then
so.
like, if it hit Falcon though, like, wouldn't it have tore through his shoes and his thrusters and like because it ate through the entire War
It was
Machine?
like, I don't know.
I think,
That's
it was,
what I
I think it
was
was
kinda-
more like an, I think it was more like an EMP type thing where it just shut down War Machine's suit. That's why he fell. I get that
Okay.
it did damage, but
Okay, yeah,
I think it
his damage.
still
is physical.
it would stop. It would stop
Or-
his wings from
Well,
you know.
I guess that
he said turn Falcon into a glider.
So he
He's
would've
like
taken
take
out-
out the thrusters.
Oh,
he is-
okay.
and like they were
Makes
kind of
sense.
acknowledging
Whereas
his
then when-
wings, he could glide down.
So
to
then
very
As
low.
it hits War Machine, it
War Machine has
shuts
no
its
wings.
whole.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That was I was trying to figure out that whole
Plus,
scene.
plus, doesn't Falcon have like an actual parachute too that
He
he's
might, and then you could glide too. So
Yeah,
okay, yeah, that makes
so-
sense then. Now, on contrary to the fact that we've mentioned, like, it's not my favorite or it is my favorite.
Oh, for me, yes, it is my. I know you're gonna go, so I will say that it's so far. For me, it's my favorite Marvel movie that I've seen. Winter Soldier is a close second, but
Winter Soldier's mine still.
And that's where I lean to.
Yeah, simply for what you said about how Batman, Winter Soldier, and again they had a jillion characters. Winter Soldier's paced better. Like the opening sequence, like the opening 3 or 4 scenes of this movie were a little jarring for me.
okay.
Like it opens, you had that weird like him being a kid and a hologram thing that kind of set up some of the what you're going to see later in the movie. For plot
I think you need that. Yeah,
which is cool.
That.
But like that scene moved really fast. Jumped into one random lady in the waiting for the elevator that said like, "Oh, you killed my kid." Like one lady, and that's made his decision to turn on all of his friends.
That's why I wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't go.
Well, he's always kind of had a guilty conscience.
Yeah, no, he has, but it was just
that's why he became Iron Man.
But in the last
place, he mentioned that
year and a half since or 2 years or how long it's been since the actual New York incident. No
Go
one
on,
said
Sokovia.
that to him. Yeah, I just feel like that was like that one.
Yeah.
And then like that leading to that scene, she's like, "I blame you." And then the next scene, he's showing up at Avengers headquarters with Ross, and it was like, or not, he didn't show up with Ross that time, did he? But I don't know. I just thought that was a weird. Just went boom, 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 and then it was like, now they're fighting.
Team Captain or Team America or Team Iron Man?
In comics, I'm always Team Captain because I think Team Captain fights for the right reasons, and Iron Man's a lot bigger dick in the comics. Like instead of just hiring Spider-Man, when he's too young and stuff, he like literally gets villains and lets them out of prison to help fight for him because he wants to win so bad. I kind of wish we would have gotten a meaner Tony Stark in this movie, like a little bit more ruthless.
He did try to kill Bucky though.
Yeah, because Bucky killed his parents. Completely cool.
Well, he's mind controlled. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, the fact that he could not drop that almost portrayed him to be. I mean, that's a villain. Like,
Yeah.
he was
That's
gonna
what the
going
main villain
to
of
kill
this
Bucky.
movie was.
And but Captain came pretty friggin' close to taking out Iron Man just to protect his friend, who has also been not in his life for how many years? 70 years. And when
was his friend at his most
vulnerable,
at his most?
but he still chose one friend over another.
Yeah.
And then not even like I'm choosing one friend over another. I'm going to choose one friend and then beat the living hell out of the other one. Like he could have just like he's got a shield.
Do you want me to beat the hell out of Nerd Man? Is that
I
what
want
you're
you to
asking
choose
me to
me.
do?
I want you to choose me over him, and I want you to beat the shit out of him.
All right, so I asked you, Team Cap.
Oh,
or
I'm
Iron
Team
Man?
Captain.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost have to go. I think Captain in the comics, but I feel like in this movie, I feel like I want Iron Man.
Okay.
Just simply, maybe it's because of Spider-Man.
And see, but like that was a point against Iron Man for me was the fact that he did recruit Spider-Man at such a young age. And yes, they were not throwing their punches as much as they should have in that fight. But realistically, he knew what he was recruiting him for. He knew there was a chance that he was putting him in danger.
Yeah, and what happened to War Machine could have happened to Spider-Man. So, but I guess I wish they would have made that a little bit more apparent then, a little bit maybe again, because like that scene
put
was
them
like
more in peril danger.
Oh, I have an idea. Mine's downstairs. Where's yours? And it was like a little silly quip to Queens that it should have been maybe a little bit more apparent that he was doing something a little more ruthless because it'd been nice to. It'd been nice to see Tony really trying to win.
And maybe he didn't even intend for it to be ruthless, but at the same time, there's I feel like a moral bit of compass there.
Tony and Captain both have these like strong moral compasses, with Tony's being more tarnished and then feeling guilty about stuff, and Captain not being able to.
And I do feel like for a split second, Tony registers it during the fight when Spider-Man gets knocked down, and he does tell him not to get back up.
He's like,
he realizes like, shit, like what I do.
Yeah, I feel like Tony had some growth. I feel like he was definitely opposite from the comics because he definitely doesn't grow. He's more of a dick, which is cool. But
what's your side then? If he's Iron Man,
I'm the deciding vote here now.
Yeah.
whoa! We got Sonic too.
Oh, true. Oh, he said it a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you missed it.
We all missed it. We'll never know.
Let me put it this way: since it is a fictional story in a comic book, I am Team Captain all the way. So we win now.
Hey, it's fine.
Yes.
I feel like,
but the reason for that being, if today, like a politician or a leader even one that I liked. You know, say like John Cena was. I don't even know if I like John Cena, but The Rock. Okay, so Dwayne Johnson. I like The Rock. Okay, so The Rock is like, hey, you know, and he's out like punching bad guys in the streets, and then people are like, hey, you know, I get that. That's cool. You're punching bad guys, but you can't do that. You know, it's against the law. We got to. Even I would be like, yeah, you know, you can't do that, Dwayne. You know, tone it back a little. Even though that's what Captain's doing. You know, the difference is Captain's a fictional character, and I know for a fact that he legitimately is what he's lawful good. You know, if we're going to label him as, I know he's not going to abuse his power, and because he's not a man.
Okay.
He is a superhero.
But he's a man given powers from the same government that he's now disobeying from a war.
But you can't blame him for not wanting to disobey.
No, I don't. But like, I just don't understand your reasoning behind it, because what if Dwayne Johnson's just a badass?
Okay, so
that doesn't
so
really
like,
quite make
let's
sense
say
to be. That's almost like
Because Dwayne Johnson's still a man.
He's still a man.
No, he's a superhero. He's a fictional. He's a fiction. He's
But
he's on a pedestal.
Oh, but you said The Rock. You said The Rock and Dwayne Johnson. The Rock's a fictional character too. Technically, Dwayne Johnson's real, but The Rock is a.
It's his
Well,
stage
The Rock
name.
is cooked-
It's his stage name.
Captain America's just his stage name.
But he's like
Steve
an actual
Rogers,
super. He has actual
or-
superpowers.
Okay, but let's say The Rock had superpowers. Let's say he had super healing, super strength, and he did beat people up because he felt it was his obligation, since he had his powers, to use them for good.
Right. Well, then I'd be fine with it.
It's a little bit of contradictory.
No, I don't trust man. I trust
He's still going to be a man, though.
superheroes.
Steve Rogers has made mistakes in the movies, and he's lived up to them. So,
Yeah.
so he's not a god. He's a person that's slightly stronger than other people.
But he's a fictional character. So
It's like The Watchmen. Who watches The Watchmen?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just because they have superpowers does not mean they're still people,
Yeah.
and they still have, you know, they still make mistakes.
I think it's just easier because I think in real life I would be split. I would feel that you need sanctions on.
I would be all for vigilantes. So if any of you want to start,
Yeah, and I do feel like that too. And I guess in comic book world, I was always team captain. But I just love. I do feel like that final fight. Again, going back to it, the captain wasn't throwing any punches in that fight. Like, he was literally trying to beat the shit out of Iron Man, and literally Iron Man just had his parents murdered in front of his eyes again. He hadn't seen it before. He just knew they died. He just got to watch his parents die. He's got to see his best friend had kept this secret for him, and watch on camera while his best friend's new best friend was murdering them, and he knew about it the whole time. And then his best friend didn't even say like, "Yo, man, I'm sorry." He was like, "Don't do it, Tony." Literally didn't even like give him any kind of condolences whatsoever. He was just instantly defending the Winter Soldier as opposed
Because
to
I
Tony.
think he was instantly defending the.
He's only defending his buddy, Bucky, and that's all it was really. And like, I get it; it's his best buddy, and I get that too. But at that point, he was willing to literally protect one friend over the other, and he made a choice. And he could have stopped Tony. We've seen Captain America stop people lethally, and granted, Tony's not a normal person, but he didn't have to rip his mask off and shatter him and beat the shit out of him like he did. Like, he definitely went too angry, too quickly to defend one over the other. And that line that Tony gives where he's like, you know, "I had to do this, Tony, he's my friend," and he's like, "Well, so was I." Like, I feel like Captain America made that choice for that fight to be that bad, where, like, granted, they're locked in a room and Tony's pissed off. It was going to end in a fight no matter what, but I did feel like that fight was very, very brutal, and when they were, like, teaming up on him, like, it was unfair, but you know what I mean? Like,
fantastic.
it was a phenomenal fight, and honestly, if it hadn't been for Bucky's, like, sucker punch, like, Tony took out both of them. It was just fucking brilliant. I loved it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Captain at that point slid a little bit from his pedestal, in my opinion. Like, if he had kept his lawful good attitude till the very end, but he didn't. I feel like in that he slipped a little bit.
I still think he was protecting the. What do you say? I mean, not defenseless, because obviously the Winter Soldier physically, but at the time when he did what he's being persecuted of, is killing.
Oh yeah.
Tony Stark's parents.
Mm-hmm.
He was not.
He's still
Bucky.
trying to technically protect the innocent. I mean, that's
Yeah, he was, but I mean, protecting the innocent by hurting another innocent. You know, like I'm saying.
But he knew he had to hurt him, otherwise he wasn't going to stop.
I just feel like, and I kind of respect that though, is the fact that black and white line on both of their ends was blurred in that final fight.
Yeah.
I feel like Captain stepped down, and I think Captain realized he did it, and when he gave the shield at the end, he was like, "Okay, Tony made a point. It's not my right anymore. Like I did betray my friend. I betrayed his trust, and I betrayed, you know, who he knew. He knew Howard back in the day, so he betrayed a lot of people to save one person." And granted, you all have like your favorites and people you do stand by, but I think that his line was blurred a little bit. Tony lost his shit, and I think they both had their lines blurred. I do feel like it was a little silly that it was all wrapped up with a letter. I don't know. I thought that was a little.
Well, it's not like he could really come face to face.
Yeah, but like, how did that
do a
letter?
hologram?
My problem with is, how did that letter show up at the exact moment that the phone was gonna ring? You know, like he just finished reading the letter, and then the phone rings. And he's like, "Oh, we'll put you on hold," and I was like, that was a little sad.
One of the other quirks or little things I wasn't thrilled about, and it goes back to not being that dark. Sorry, but the Sardin scene where Scarlet Witch throws up crossbones, he blows up the building. Wasn't it only like 9 deaths or something that they talked about? Like, it should have just been like the entire floor got blown up.
Yeah,
there should have been way more fatalities there. Yeah, because oh, they fucked up and killed 9 people. Like,
and if they didn't do that,
are you gonna really be upset that they killed 9 people? Like,
and if they didn't do that, that was a biological weapon they had. Like millions would have died. You know what I mean? Like, I was just
exactly. I think
it should have been triple digits. It should have been like an entire floor of that building got leveled that was full, and that would have added much more weight to like, you guys need to be kept in check.
See, and I was getting that leads into what I was frustrated with too, and I guess it's kind of how the real world works. So it's not really a stretch. But every single video they showed was them like saving the world, and like okay, so aliens are invading.
Yeah.
You want us to not fight them until America tells us to? But okay, he's lifting up this entire city. You want us just to not do anything about it? And I was kind of complaining about it on the drive home, and my girlfriend was like, "Well, you do realize they were kind of responsible for both of those incidents." And I was like, "Well, I guess he built Ultron, so I guess if he didn't build Ultron, that wouldn't have happened." You're right. And she's like, "But Loki wouldn't have found Earth if it wasn't for Thor." And I was like, "Oh, I guess I didn't really think that was the correlation." She's like, "So it kind of
that's what Vision was talking
exactly,
about.
Yeah, exactly. It comes full circle.
Yeah,
with what Vision had said about with their abilities. It kind of draws that out. So I do, which then in turn kind of
let's think about real life for a second too. Let's say somebody tries to do something good, like you try. If you were to try and save somebody from a car, you push them out of the way. They break a bone, like
lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. They would fucking sue you.
Well, I'm not saying that's a flaw with the movie.
Yeah,
that's
like people always try and put the blame on somebody, even if they were doing it for the better, the greater good.
So in this Marvel world, the first super villain would then be Red Skull.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that was still an evil started with, it was still evil started. They created good to combat the evil. Vision was kind of saying like, oh, we're superheroes. All these people are coming to challenge us.
Didn't we challenge the first villains?
Exactly. I think he was incorrect in that. I think it still is.
Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with which side they're on. I mean, it's the whole point of the movie is like no side is necessarily right. I mean, obviously Red Skull's wrong, but Red Skull showed up with power, not powers, but as a villain, and then we rose to the challenge, and then now we're more powerful as the superheroes, and then it just with great power calls that challenge, not necessarily the good or the evil side of it. So the whole idea of it is I think it's all the same.
And I see that, but that's like with. I think the point that Vision might have been trying to get at was, we have to. If they limited themselves, that evil would then limit themselves. I don't feel that would actually happen.
Yeah, probably not.
And because I feel
now that it's existed,
in real world settings, stockpiling weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Obviously, we already have more power to destroy the Earth. So why keep doing it? Well, that's kind of just like human nature. Once you've gotten, once one guy uses a rock to kill another man. It's
the
always
rock
just
never is off the table.
It's always just going to escalate itself back up. You're never going to de-evolve down to devolve.
Would that come from when can't remember the first Captain America movie very well right now, but did Red Skull already know about the Cosmic Cube?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he found it.
yeah,
So
that's what he was searching for.
He was searching
So
for
the Cosmic Cube that came from Asgard, that's technically Thor's home, so that would have what spurred Red Skull to having his power. So technically, it would have existed from a neutral power source.
Yeah.
It's like a weapon.
But okay,
came
so
down.
the Cosmic Cube's not there because Thor it didn't do that. You still have
Skull
you still have
still
evil searching for some sort of power.
Yeah.
He will still find
Still
some
find
sort of
something.
power. Yeah.
But so like, just basically, a great power source in whatever hand is going to cause a challenge to the other side. An
okay.
equal or greater opposition. Now, greatest point of the movie. I know I've not complained about it a lot. I was really pumped that we didn't see 5 fucking super soldiers at the end. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing. Because the whole movie I was like, all right, they're going to find out these
they're
super
gonna
soldiers
find
are real.
a bigger villain, and they're going to team up
and fight
together.
it.
I honestly thought I thought Batman vs Superman again.
And I was
thought
like, oh,
it was going to be this battle, and then we can't because
we have to fight these
Thanos is here or something. Yeah.
And then they walked in, and they all had bullet holes in their head, and I was like, oh, we're going to fight these? And I was like, oh, they're probably going to come back to life anyways. And then,
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna make 5 more of these monstrosities.
Yeah, and I was
like,
shit.
you think I want more of these?
And that video started playing, and then I was like, why are they showing this again? And it clicked, and I was like, oh shit, this is the final fight. Like,
to me though, that mirrored the what's his
Zemo.
Zemo?
Yeah.
Okay. Zemo's story.
Baron Zemo, right? Yeah.
Zemo's story to me perfectly mimics that very end Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
He saw his family die, so he was going to just destroy them.
Yeah.
Tony Stark found out that his family died because of this,
He wanted to destroy
and he
him.
wanted to destroy him. And at that point, Captain didn't feel that Winter Soldier was responsible
Yeah.
for their deaths, and had to do whatever he had to do to save his friend because
Yeah.
he blows off his. I mean, he would have killed him.
I
I honestly think Tony Stark would have killed him, would have killed Bucky,
Maybe.
and I think that is why Cap went as far as he did.
Yeah, I know. He went that far, but he didn't need to. He didn't. He could have still stopped Iron Man without going that far. I still stand by that fact.
He left him alive.
Yeah.
He didn't paralyze him. And
that's true. But Captain's team
he got
did
the
that.
shit beat out of him.
And
Holy fuck.
Captain's team led to that by not giving up. And you could have not gave up and still not.
Both teams could have not.
Yeah, exactly. So his headstrongness, in my opinion, again, I feel like they have they blurred their lines a little bit.
Yeah,
I think Captain
I think that's cool. I
think
love
it's
that.
Cool. I like the fact that he.
I love gray area
Boy
stuff.
Scout.
It's awesome to talk about. But I think that's why Black Widow decided she had to change sides.
She knew that
she
they
knew
weren't gonna
both
stop.
sides weren't going to stop. But which side did she choose?
Well, she knew that Captain wasn't going to stop no matter what, and somebody was going to get hurt.
And
She would have switched it sooner, might not happen. But she knew that Captain was. He couldn't let things go, and that's a flaw.
But
for his character.
I think Tony did the exact same thing.
Yeah, but he wasn't fighting for his own personal.
At the end, he was.
At the end, he was. So
But at the start,
but at the beginning, he was fighting
for the
his
wrong
guilt.
reason.
Yeah,
At the start, he was fighting because he thought the Winter Soldier did blow up the.
Well, yeah,
the
everybody
king.
did. I mean, Zemo
Yeah.
did a really good job at that. So he was fighting.
Well, so he was fighting for the wrong reason at the start, and then the second reason, or the second half, he was fighting for himself.
Yeah.
Which is basically what I guess is Zemo.
I think
was
he's
doing.
fighting for himself the whole time. He's only fighting because he feels guilty about.
Yeah, he definitely feels guilty, and that's basically what Captain's doing. I
And
think they're
see,
literally
and to
doing
me-
almost the exact same.
To me, that was kind of Iron Man's biggest flaw. Is one person says you killed my son. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna give up all my powers. Like
Yeah,
you have to know where to draw a line.
I don't think either of them knew how to draw the line.
Yeah.
I think that's the point. I don't think you're completely wrong, but I think a
No,
lot
I-
of the points we're making are making each other's points
It is. Yeah, they
more
mirror
valid,
each other.
They mirror each other really well. Neither of them know how to draw a line, and they're bullheaded enough to the point where they're willing to let their friends get in danger.
But Captain did offer an olive branch at the end of the letter,
And
he's the one that reached out.
he
said,
reached
"Hey,
out
I'm here
with
for
a
you."
love letter. That's not going to get him in trouble.
But
Iron Man reached out by letting an entire team escape prison. He gets a bigger olive branch.
What?
No.
He
I thought
doesn't
that was
escape, though.
Captain broke him
Did
out.
you guys not get that whole scene? Ross was calling for his help to help him stop.
Yeah, but...
And he put him on hold. He could have.
That's a stretch, I think.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay.
Because Ross was calling like, "Yo, shit's going down," and he's like, "Oh, we put you on hold real quick," and he let Captain get away with it. Like he could have stopped him if he or attempted to stop him.
How is he going if Captain was already there, break him out? How is he gonna?
How fast have they moved in this movie universe from country to
Not
country?
that fast.
That's exactly what the scene was portraying, though.
No, I don't buy that one.
Well, come on.
The thing I liked about the movie is I feel like it ended, and they're still going to be at war, though.
Well, I feel like
Because, like,
Secret Avengers.
all of them are now fugitives.
Yeah.
Where Tony Stark's not, because
And
he's working with the government. Even though he put him on hold, he's still technically, like...
In the comics, they have a group of Secret Avengers, like, where they work off the radar, and it's led by Captain in the comics, which he goes by just the Captain, I think. And he gets another shield from Black Panther.
I was going to say, it makes sense. That's why he didn't care about giving up his shield. He has a new connection now. Yeah, exactly.
But, so, like, that's... so they didn't end it... So they didn't end it anywhere near how the comics ended it.
No.
I thought was...
Bucky was still... He was willing to go freeze himself again because he knew he could...
I don't think Bucky's... Yeah, I think Bucky's a cool character.
I'm completely okay with him, like, straying away from the comics.
Yeah.
So.
I was really hoping for that weighty ending of, like, Captain America dying. Or, comic book death.
Yeah.
I don't think it was maybe the right time.
I don't think they needed that. Honestly,
that they put Agent 13 or shit.
It is weird that they did have her, and like how they did end what was it, Winter Soldier, where they ended with her shooting the targets.
Yeah, like her shooting the targets and really having.
And then not lead up to that. That was weird.
Yeah, because she's the one that shoots them.
Yeah,
and like you said, they ended Winter Soldier.
But in the comics, didn't he also like? And I hate talking about comics because I just.
Comics are weird to talk about because there's so many different...
If you get anything wrong, you upset people, and then there's just...
sometimes you don't even get something wrong and you still upset people.
In the comics, doesn't he die, and then you find out he wasn't really dead, he comes back and takes back the mantle, and I'd feel like that's almost cheap.
Yeah, no, that's true.
If he's gonna die, like,
but that was weird. they brought Crossbones back, and then brought her back, and then they didn't do it. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool, because I didn't know how it was going to end.
Right.
But I do feel like...
And everybody was predicting that that's how it would end, so it was nice that they didn't go that route.
I wish it would have had a slightly weightier ending, that's all, I guess, is what it comes down to.
When it comes down to really...
Like, literally, Captain America and Iron Man almost just, like, beat the shit out of it. Like, they literally almost killed each other, and he, like, writes a note being like, "Yo, dude, sorry, I should have told you." And then Iron Man's like, "Alright, take your guys back, it's cool." And, like,
I don't think
they're all just like... I have to watch it again, because
I still don't feel like that was... Like, I don't think... Like, that's just Tony Stark's personality. He said earlier, "I love putting you on hold."
That's foreshadowing.
Okay.
Foreshadowing that scene coming.
I just don't think putting him on hold... I just don't think putting him on hold is like, oh, I just let a bunch of people out of jail.
It was like...
If
he had taken the call, he would have been called to action
obligated
by his country.
to
at least track...
To
he might not
down.
Now, he might not have been able to get there before they walk out, obviously, but I'm assuming that call happened before the scene where they show everyone knocked out. It was obviously happening as soon as they got there. And he called, and he would have been obligated by his country, because he signed the bill that he's obligated to do whatever the country tells him to do now, and he knows, hey, he's calling to tell me to go stop Captain. I'm going to put him on hold, give Captain a head start, and let him go. I got like 99% sure about that scene.
That probably makes sense.
They both gave each other an olive branch. He let him go without chasing him down. They both drew their lines.
If that's the case, then he didn't want to chase him down because he didn't want to get the shit kicked out of him again.
Hey, you two, he won and still almost destroyed him.
He was like, "Oh, last time really hurt when he shoved that shield into my chest."
Yeah, it fucking was pretty great. I thought he would like smash his face. He tore the helmet off first, and I was like, Jesus Christ! But
I mean, I do love Iron. Obviously, they're the superheroes, And I thought it was interesting that they they did play it off, beforehand. The hype was, hashtag Team Cap, hashtag Team Iron Man. And I was like, wow, you're really making people choose sides on, they're supposed to be on the same team.
They had a good marketing campaign.
But I still, I thought the other Avengers movies had that same thing. They all still don't.
They don't
perfectly
match.
mesh.
No, they don't. And then you have.
I was surprised Nick Fury wasn't at least questioned. Hey, what should we do about this?
Has he been in the movie since Captain 2?
Well, how many Ant-Man's did Ant-Man?
I guess Guardians wasn't really on Earth.
Right.
Ant-Man, I didn't see Ant-Man.
He might be in Ant-Man. I don't even know.
There's been a couple. There's been we only had
was
two.
Iron Man 3 after?
No,
I didn't think so.
No. I'm sure he's billed to play him again and stuff, but they still
No,
have
I get that.
Shield still. I don't watch the show either. Agents of Shield. So I don't know if Shield's still
Well, that's the other issue too, though. The movies aren't even acknowledging Agents of Shield.
Right.
Agents of Shield acknowledges the movies though.
Yeah, which is weird though that one does and the other.
It's probably just because they're so small. In comparison to what they're fighting and going on,
I get it.
They're kind of doing the Inhumans thing, I guess, in the Shields that they're introducing. And I haven't watched it. I need to catch up. It's just a lot of stuff to catch up on, So.
It's just it's getting to the point now where, yes, they're comic book movies, but we're getting to the point where we've had enough comic book movies that it's starting to show like comic books where you have, how many different versions of Batman and how many different versions of Captain and Spider-Man we have the Amazing Spider-Man, we have, we're getting to that point where we've already had movies like that, and you have different versions of Spider-Man, yes, because they've been owned by different people, but also because there are different versions to show.
Speaking of different versions, this is probably where we probably should stop because it's going to get into a whole nother. This could be a whole nother discussion for another time.
You could tease it.
The trailer beforehand, Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
she mentions Tilda Swinton's character mentions multiple universes. So we should
save that.
I think so.
So stay tuned.
Good,
that
good
was
job.
Harsh. That was mean.
Fuck.
I
don't know why it's not stopping. That was a pretty good ending.
I liked it.
It was good. Iron Man fell down too. Shit.
We're just going to record for a day.
It's still recording, even though I.
Guys, this Captain America was so sweet.
4 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm thinking
No Ramble Pit, no.
I need a nap before I go back to work. Otherwise, I'm gonna murder everybody.
You really didn't get that out of that scene, though. That's what was going on.
I didn't at first, though.
That's
it makes sense, though.
I'm not trying to be like a dick, but that's 100% what it was.
Yeah, I just disagree.
You can't disagree with that's what it is.
No, that's your opinion. That's what it is.
But that's legitimately what the scene was.
Why is there no cameras found? I'm logged into the Wi-Fi. Bye.